With almost 2,900 people per square mile, Bangladesh is the most densely populated country on planet Earth. To put that number into perspective, Australia has 3 people per square mile, meaning that Bangladesh is almost 1,000 times more crowded than Australia. The most populous city in Bangladesh, Dhaka, has approximately 17 million people, which is at least 65,000 people per square mile in the country's capital city. These staggering numbers, which are largely due to a young average age of marriage, do not seem to be slowing down, leaving Bangladesh with an annual growth rate of 3.6% and a tough future for the agricultural society. Meaning East Capital in Japanese, Tokyo was founded in 1889 and has consistently remained a bustling metropolis. Despite much of Tokyo being destroyed in World War II, which burned nearly half of the city and shrunk the population to 1/3, Tokyo was quick to make a comeback. Today, it has the largest transit system in the world and hosts at least 34 million residents, as well as a constant influx of tourists and business professionals. Though often referred to as a city, Tokyo is so huge that it is officially governed as 23 separate cities. Tokyo contains more than 10% of the total population of Japan. It only covers approximately 0.5% of Japan's landmass. Despite its huge population, this impressive city was named the safest in the world and will host the 2020 Olympics. With over 102 million people living in this small series of islands, the Philippines is one of the most overpopulated countries on the planet. The capital of the country, Manila, has the highest population density in the world, with an astounding 111,000 people per square mile. With a staggering population of over 1.3 billion, China is a country that approximately 20% of the world's population calls home. This country contains a number of the most populous and quickly growing cities in the world. Beijing, the capital, has a population of over 21 million and an annual growth rate of at least 4%. The massive city dates back 3 millennia and has remained the most significant city to the immense country of China for many centuries as a hub for politics, culture, education, history, and art. The city contains the second busiest airport in the world. This, in combination with the city's ground transportation and the factories nearby, have given Beijing very concerning air quality. In 2008, before the city first hosted the Summer Olympics, $17 billion was spent to improve the region's air quality. Beijing also plans to host the Winter Olympics in 2022, which will make it the first city in history to ever host both events. While the country of China has a bustling population, and Beijing hosts a population density of over 18,000 people per square mile, the country bordering it just to the northeast, Mongolia, has one of the smallest average population densities in the world, at only 2 people per square mile. With approximately half the landmass of China, India contains a comparable population of over 1.2 billion. The capital city, Delhi, at its largest extent can boast a population of over 25 million residents, making it the most populous city in India, second only to Mumbai. Serving as the political and financial center of several empires over the centuries, Delhi was named the capital of India in 1911. Aside from its enormous population density, at over 66,000 people per square mile, Delhi also has one of the highest road densities in the world by far. Because of this, along with the city's bustling airport and railways, Delhi has been named the most polluted city in the world, which is the primary cause of death for over 10,000 of the city's residents every year. The capital of Mexico, Mexico City, has a very long history that spans over at least a dozen centuries, and was last accounted to have a population of over 21 million. It currently stands as the largest Spanish-speaking city in the world, and has become a very valuable global city and one of the most important financial outlets in the Americas. The city on its own has a larger and stronger economy than most of the other countries in Latin America. Despite its economic success, Mexico City faces a number of serious issues from its constant bustle. The pollution in the city is of the worst in the world, and in the past, became so bad that school hours had to be adjusted, factories had to be closed, and limits had to be placed on the roads. In a quick response to the traffic regulations, the expansive metro bus became one of the largest in the world, to carry an average of 800,000 people through the city every day. To this day, the buses get so crowded that some of them at some points in the day have to be gender segregated. For decades, the capital of Mexico was one of the most rapidly growing cities in the Americas, just until recently because of the number of issues and health concerns that the busy city faces every day. Istanbul is one of the oldest cities in the world. Lying between 3 continents, the city is a part of Asia on its east, a part of Europe on its west, and has Africa just slightly south of it. Originally founded as Byzantium in 600 BCE, and later known as Constantinople until the 20th century, Istanbul has served as a significant city since the beginning of its existence. And since its formation, it has consistently remained one of the most populous cities in the world. With about 14 million residents, it is also one of the world's most popular tourist destinations, having nearly 13 million foreigners to visit the city in 2015 alone. A number of things have contributed to the success of the city over the centuries, including its geological location, alluring history, and land and marine resources. It was named the European Capital of Culture and has one of the fastest growing metropolitan economies in the world. Over the decades, it has consistently remained one of the most progressive and expanding cities, and today, it is the most populous city in Turkey by far, as well as the most populous city in Europe. The country of Thailand, which on average gains one migrant every 50 seconds, faces a number of problems from its ever-growing population. The capital and most populous city, Bangkok, contains more than 20% of the entire country's population. With no other city in Thailand coming close to it an opportunity, the city's growth has skyrocketed in recent years. Today, the population of Bangkok and its outskirts goes beyond 14 million. In the city space where 8.5 million live today, there were only 6.3 million in 2000, which astoundingly adds up to over 2 million people moving to the city in less than 2 decades. This growth rate is substantial compared to most cities' histories, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. The city, which neither predicted nor prepared for such a staggering population, is now facing a number of serious issues for it. With an efficient metro system, canals, and ferries, Bangkok already has the worst evening traffic in the world, according to a number of sources. With the commute time more than doubling during the evening hours, the tens of thousands unfortunate enough to be stuck on the road in the evening jam are sometimes sitting for hours in the halted lines. The city is already suffering from pollution, water shortages, poverty, and flooding today, and the future doesn't look very promising for residents, as the migration continues and the government still remains under a military junta.